how do you go into Cracker Barrel and not get noticed?
Well, I don't go in and don't get noticed. Sometimes I'll go, like for breakfast, I'll go early as they open, you know, or I'll send somebody in to get the cornbread, and my husband loves the coleslaw, but all of when they clean my house every Thursday, my sisters help me out with that, and I'm always saying, go get us some of that cornbread from Cracker Barrel, and they bring stuff, so even if I don't get to go eat it there, I have it brought in all the time.
Well, listen, I have to admit something. You and I go back a ways, and I remember vividly having breakfast about every other morning, having biscuits and gravy, watching you on television. So I was backwoods Ken.
You were.
In the early stages. Thank you, baby. I appreciate that.
Yeah, when she lets me have it.
Yeah, that's it.
I know.
We've
been fighting for years.
I know, we've fought for years.
No.
But we all love that gravy and biscuits, and they have good gravy and biscuits there as well.
You know, you are such a fantastic businesswoman. Are you equally good at being a domestic goddess? I mean, can you cook the biscuits and the gravy and the Cracker Barrel type food at your house when you want to?
That is the kind of food I cook. And my food ain't pretty, but it's good. I cook like my mama and my aunts and my grandmas, and I still do cook. And I can't just cook a little bit like for me and Carl. I still cook like I did back home when my sister and I used to have to do, you know, a lot of the cooking. So I just cook big pots of stuff. Like if it's a pot of beans or a big pot of chicken and dumplings, I just cook enough for everybody, and I just say, come on over, bring your Tupperware, and, you know.
Well, what's ugly about it?
Well, I just mean I don't serve it beautiful, and just like
just
when
slop
you cook,
it on there.
Yeah, just like when I fry my green tomatoes, for instance, I do them like Mama. I just flip them over all the time. They're tore all apart, and they're, you know, they're brown. They're not those really pretty ones. Oh, but they're good.
Oh, that's always important. And they got so much grease on them.
I know.
You got to have a napkin to get the grease off.
I'd rather have it good than pretty.
I grew up poor and ragged, just a simple country girl. I wanted to be free, more than anything in the world. Like Barbie or the
They always say that no matter, you know, how old we grow, every single woman always retains something of a little girl inside her. What would you say is still little girlish about you?
Well, my husband thinks all of it. He thinks I'm still a child. But actually, I do have a very joyful heart. I have a childlike spirit, and I want to hang on to that because I remember my dreams as a child, and I remember how I wanted to be a star, and I remember wanting to wear makeup, wanting to have things, go places, and I hang on to that, and that's what keeps me sane out in the world too, is because I always stay close to home. I can write a song about home or sing a song about home, and it just keeps me grounded. But I think that I haven't changed all that much. You know, I never think of it like being a star. I'm just grateful that I got to do what I wanted to do, and it's like I've often said, I think about myself as a working girl. Because I'm still working, I'm still dreaming, and I ain't got time to be a star, you know, or certainly not to act like one.
Good way of looking at it. You know, and that's the thing. These young stars, up-and-coming stars, look to you as inspiration, as a model. Seriously, a role model of what they would like to do and put the longevity in their career. Do you talk to a lot of them on a regular basis? Now, we've talked about, you know, you talking with Jessica Simpson, and is it Kelly Pickler also, who's a big fan of yours? What do you talk to them about?
Well, they're always asking me for advice, and I always say I don't like to give advice. You know, I like to give, I'll give you some information. I'll give you some things that's happened to me, and if you can use that, fine. Because I think everybody's career is their own. I think everybody's personality is you know, the way that they're going to have success is going to be based on who they are. You got to believe in yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to know what you want out of what you're doing. Know what you're willing to sacrifice, and don't get caught up in your own publicity. That happens so much. You know, people don't know how to. I think that's one good thing about country people, being grounded. You never forget that. I don't.
Yeah.
It don't take me long to realize. It don't take long to humble me, let's put it that way, if I get a little out of hand.
But you're always out of hand, but that's what we love about you.
Well, that's true. That part's true. Yeah.
But, you know, isn't it true? I think in most people's lives, no matter what you do in life or how successful you get, every now and then you start thinking, man, you know, I would like this different life or that different life. Have you ever wanted a different life than what you've built?
Never. I wanted to do this all of my life. I want to do it all my life. As you get older and when you get so busy, you got so many things to do, you just wish you had a little more personal time to be more creative or to just think about what you need to do next. But you got to kind of balance that and try to get that all in a place to where it's like, okay, now, where am I? And where do I want to go and what do I need to do? But no, I've never wanted to do anything but this.
You know you've made it when you have your own pink rocking chair.
Don't you love this rocking chair?
That's
I feel like Edith Ann sitting in it, but I got a pillow on now because you're sitting up here. But you can get these at Cracker Barrel.
I was going to ask you that
You know
question.
they sell those chairs. You know how they have their chairs. They're famous for their people sitting on their porch.
Sure.
And I had, I was telling, I have always sat in a rocking chair, but I had two uncles that owned country stores, two different uncles, and so I remember all this. So you could get this. They also have a photo album too, a photo book in this same beautiful pink that shows my whole life all the way through with different celebrities.
Well, we're out of time, baby.
Thank you.
It's great to see you
It
as always.
always seems like it goes too fast.
It does go fast.
Because you're friendly and warm, and I love you, and
Well,
I've known you all my life.
It's like we're on the front porch.
I know it's true. You've got to get you a rocking chair. You're going to look cute.
Go get me some biscuits while you're at it.
I'd rather have
off
a
the
biscuit
porch.
than to sit in this chair another minute. It's hard on my country butt.